veteran guys in there, and they can catch the ball at the backfield. But like I said, with Ooze and Cam, and also have Sam Singleton, going to do a really good job. And the change-up guy is Jay Luke. Stick a dynamite, get the ball in his hand, and making sure we do the things we need to do to have the ball in his hand.
What are the possibilities that Jaylen can bring you just as far as creativity? Where he can line up, play calling, can be a running back, a receiver?
Well, he can do it all. One thing about him also in the return game, you kind of forget about that part of it. He also can return punts, return kicks, but you can line up Jay Luke anywhere. our job is to make sure we get a chance to put the ball in his hand. He secure the ball. That's one of my biggest things, and making sure we have a good understanding. We have to own the football. But I think Jay Luke is ready, and I think Coach Gus is going to put him in position to be successful.
Why were the additions of Gavin and Ousmane important for your room?
I think you always want, like I said earlier, with somebody like Gab, you always want a veteran guy. He played a lot of football. I know he had a few injuries, but he's really smart. He understands football. He understands, where he fits. And Ousmane, he's different. This guy is really different, at his size, speed. He can catch the ball off the backfield. He's really athletic, and one thing about him, he's smart. He's a really smart football player. I thought his high school did a really good job with him, preparing him for this. And my biggest thing is making sure you do the things that you need to do to be successful. You don't have to be in a rush. You're not here to save us. Just do the things you need to do to help you be successful, to help us be successful.
Does missing a spring put either of them at all behind the eight ball as a running back, or because of experience in Gavin's case, or Ousmane's just talent not the case?
I don't think it's so much putting behind the eight ball. That's why you have fall camp. You're going to see kids emerge and see what they can do with their opportunities. And my biggest thing is making sure I put things on his plate that he can handle. Not to try to give him too much just because he's really athletic or he's really talented. I have to make sure I'm being smart with him. And I think he's going to do a good job with that.
Are there any nuances to running back with this new offensive coordinator that they have to understand and do a little bit differently than they did last year?
No, other than probably the tempo, playing a little faster, different things like that. But, like I said, I try to make this game it's simple. Football is a simple game. At the end of the day, you got 5 linemen. Guess what? They're going to block somebody. You have to block the other person. You have to really be up on your communication, have a good understanding of that. And our ultimate thing right now is making sure we have smart football players. That's our number one goal, making sure you have a good understanding of what's going on. Being a smart football player allows you to play fast, allows you to be physical, and making sure you finish. But I think those guys are chomping at the bit. They're ready to roll, and they're excited. We're all excited about this opportunity.
I think you called Jaylen a stick of dynamite when he walked up. What is it that appeals to you about what he can do in this offense?
Everything. You put the ball in his hand, he can do so much, with catching the ball, even out the backfield, catching the ball from slot, from the outside receiver, or just getting the ball in his hand whenever we can. I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to do because he's so electric. He can make people miss in open spaces. We saw that early on, before he got hurt, so I'm going to have to do a good job of making sure I place him in the right spot. And I think Coach Gus, he understands. He had players like this before, so he has a really good understanding of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it.
What has Roydell done this offseason to try to bounce back from what had to be a frustrating season for him with the injury and all?
He's a veteran. His mindset was the day he did have the injury, let me get back. He did a really good job of rehab, understanding that. I'm going to have to be smart with him, having a veteran player, but Roy he's the vet in the room, man. He understands. He's the leader in the room. Get those guys in line, making sure they have a good understanding of what's going on. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have him back. Unfortunately, it was the injury, but he's ready.